Just before 8 o'clock. It's pleasantly cool, I don't know, 62 or something out here. 60 degrees maybe, a little breezy. A lot of clouds, just enough space for the sun light going down to illuminate some of them. In an interesting sort of visual manner, giving you a contrast. You know, if you have no clouds at all you've got is a blue sky that's just getting darker and darker. You have to have some clouds to show the sunlight, sunset. And if you have too many clouds, you also don't get the effect, because there's no break in the cloud. So here's this is like about 75–80% clouded over, with enough of a break so you've got the blue patches. You've also got the contrast between the gray clouds and the parts that are lit up pink. And what an interesting effect some of this has, like the light over that hill with the trees, and it's darker, and then over back here, that's facing east, so that's where the darkness is coming from, but there's more space and it's all lit up. And here we go, out of the way of this building. There, out of the way of that building. Yeah. Here's a dogwood tree. You can tell these are all new construction, new plantings. Maple tree, new grass. And new dumpster, that's the one that was put here yesterday. Just a little peek to see if there's anything except the cardboard boxes that they might have put in today. Oh shit, someone else got the cardboard boxes. There's another missed opportunity for me. These great, fantastic cardboard boxes that had all that the styrofoam in them. Somebody else got there first. I could have, wanted to, should have come last night, gotten it, but I didn't think somebody else was doing the same stuff I'm doing. Salvaging nice cars here with nice big boxes. Got 8 of them. I could have used them, but on the other hand, had I gotten them, they'd be taking up space in my apartment now. Unless, of course, I filled them with the other box, stuff in the other box. Over there. So, you snooze, you lose, basically. The window of opportunity is very brief. You gotta grab it when you see it. Otherwise, chances are it's not gonna be there the next day. Even if it's just fucking cardboard boxes. But I'm less annoyed about the cardboard boxes. about the other stuff I missed last night. The door. I'm going to keep obsessing about this metal door that I missed, and the metal pipes, and I'd say about a 6. Yeah, just about a 6. Metal pipes, and that wooden block. What the hell was that? That wooden block looked like a packing crate, but it felt like it was just solid wood. Oh well, and just tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's got more junk, and now we know at least something we wouldn't have known otherwise. If I had gotten the cardboard boxes, we wouldn't know now. Who's that? Who's that handsome devil? So thin. Well, not that thin, but then again, not that fat either. Pleasantly plump. I'm not plump though. I'm really not. There's nothing about me that's plump except there's this basketball hanging in my belly. Other than that, I'm not a plump person. There's nothing plump about me. So it's kind of weird. Boop-a-dee boop, boop, boop. Doodly-doo, and I got the window from the CVS. You can just sort of sit there and just sort of peek at all the people going through. And it's a Saturday evening. Nice, quiet, fairly relatively quiet Saturday evening. People around here. Now Wellesley is a kind of rhymes with wealthy, okay? That's not to be casually dismissed. The similarity between the here's a bag, plastic bag. Is it my responsibility? I guess now it is that I picked it up. Now it's my responsibility to remove it, because otherwise, once I've had it in my hand, then if I release it again, then I'm guilty of littering, even though I wasn't the one who fucking put it there. And while I'm doing it, might as well grab all this other bullshit that's been littered here too. Ugh, fucking start. So now we have to find a trash can for this bullshit that other people left here. But I now have taken it as my own fucking burden. Oh, this heavy cross of styrofoam that I bear. There must be a trash can. Simply must be. Oh, I know there is up in the peak, So as we were saying, here's a dental office. Here's a no soliciting office. If you want to buy some here's a 31 office. If you need the number 31, or the number 13, or a 1, or a 3, or a 11, or a 33, that's the place to go get it. If you need a bright smile and a green face, please, no soliciting. Look at this, door after door, no soliciting. Who's soliciting around here? Must be somebody. Otherwise, why would they be posting these please no soliciting? The Bank of America and what's it called? That's it. Over here, you've got. This is weird. I can only presume that Bank of America, that Wellesley Bank is affiliated with Bank, or can I? Wellesley Bank, Bank of America machine. Over there, Bank of America. Another Bank of America machine. Why? They have two Bank of America machines. It's not open, but I would use it. Just use a trash can. Why would they have two Bank? Here's the Wellesley. Why would they have two Bank of America machines in such close proximity? Because this one is also a Bank of America office. But this Bank of America office has a teller machine here, so why do they need a second one next to the Wellesley Bank? Now my mind is starting to hurt. What I'm going to do is take this stuff over to the dumpster at the Catholic school. Hope nobody gives me crap about it. And if they do, I'll say, well, I felt it was my Christian duty to pick up this garbage and this litter and dispose of it properly. What would Jesus do? And there's fucking litter around here. But what I love is, like last night was Friday night. They must have had, oh, there's a dumpster over there. They must have had an event here. Because everybody, all these kids were running around there screaming. But tonight there's nothing. It's so pleasantly unpopulated. So just see what treasures may be in here. I'm sure there are plenty of treasures in here, but I don't feel like scrounging to look for them, so I just do my Christian duty as far as the litter, and I come back out the way I came in. But I love the feeling of a Saturday night when there's a stillness, when people are, sure there's traffic going, but it's just relative to what it is on most weekdays. It's not busy, it's like abandoned. I like the feeling of an abandoned town, depending of course what the reasons are for the abandonment. If it's a Chernobyl abandonment, it's a bit less fun. La 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 la. But if you went back in time 150 years, 1862, this street was here. It was probably called Washington Street then, and half the buildings, maybe less than half, but some of the buildings in 1862, what the hell? There's a couple hawks up on the top of that church steeple, and it's sitting on top of the big golden cross. A couple of fucking hawks sitting on the golden cross, like Mary and Jesus. What the hell? Now I think I take that as some kind of a religious omen. Can you see them? What kind of a religious omen would you take that as? Two hawks sitting on the Catholic cross there. Somehow that strikes me as quite a funny image. You must see them at least as dots. This camera's pretty poor on things that are not close up. And I can't even tell. I have no viewfinder, so I just have to guess that I'm pointing this in about the correct angle. The big hawk on top of the cross, another one sitting on the right arm of the cross. It looks like they're taking a nap. I wonder if one of them is the baby. I wonder if the one in the arm actually is the baby Jesus hawk. The Mary hawk and Jesus hawk. I don't know why that's funny, or why that should be funny. It's just that if you wanted to capture a picture of that, if you wanted a picture of two hawks sitting on the cross, and there's a swallow flying in the air. If you wanted a picture of two hawks sitting on the cross, how would you make that come about? You see him move his wing in there? How would you make that? You wouldn't. You couldn't. Unless you were some big movie production company that would get up a big ladder, some big fire truck ladder, and they would just either place a couple stuffed hawks, or they would actually fasten a couple domesticated hawks, trained hawks, that were tethered to keep them there in that position. It's the only way you could do it. Or have animatronic you know, artificial, electronic, realistic looking hawks that you could move by remote control. That noisy creature is called a motorcycle. But here, a couple of hawks, all on their own initiative, looked around and said, "Hey, this looks like a good place to perch." The hawks. Now, how does this relate to hawks and doves? I don't know, that's a little bit too deeply metaphysical for me. I just am going to enjoy looking at these two guys sitting up there. They look like they're ready to take a nap. So we were talking about the similarity between the name of the town, Wellesley, and the word wealthy. I think it's apt. Even if it's random, it's still apt. Not that Newton is not a wealthy place either. But somehow there's a different feel. I guess it's sort of what you do with the wealth and where it comes from. Somehow, I don't know. Somehow, Wellesley's wealth feels wealthier. Feels Peter's Pizza. They have a trash thing out here under the waving flag, the big waving flag, and you can sometimes find bits of stuff in here if you care to look, I suppose. Wellesley seems a bit more serene than Newton, a bit more comfortable in just being where it is. Maybe a sort of a little bit more of a sense of continuing history. Not that Newton doesn't have a history, but Newton doesn't seem to really value its history. Well, it doesn't have much like exciting, adventurous sounding history. It just has, like this tree. This tree never did anything exciting except to be here and to grow for a century or more than a century, just to be here and be a constant presence. That's history. To me. That was sort of fairly close. Probably the guy who probably owns that figure of history. That Chinese guy probably owns that building and is having it remodeled and stuff. I'm talking about continuing history. And so he comes down the steps just when I'm sort of approaching the dumpster. I'm glad he didn't come down the steps 30 seconds later when I was actually looking in the dumpster. So that's your history for you. Being bought up by the Chinese. But let's not be overly racist about this. There's no poison ivy. I have a feeling that some of these Chinese people, maybe most of them, are going to be more sensitive to the history of some of the buildings that they buy than a lot of the fucking American people buying shit. And I mean, I bet all this crap was built by Americans. It's ugly. It's not too ugly, but it's still not attractive either. It's not fucking attractive. Nothing makes me look at this and say, gosh, I wish I lived in one of those buildings. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I can walk down this street, and I'm sure, find most houses I would say, hey, this might be a nice, pleasant house to live in, but not that shit. So let's take a little walk. Take us back by the China guy's house. See, this house isn't the most wonderful house I've ever seen, but it sure looks comfortable. Sure looks like it would be if just painted another color. Alright, paint it white or something, or even a light blue. This one, big house, it's got a nice old barn attached to it. Trees have been here for maybe 100 years. Yeah, this one could use a different color. Or I can pass it by and never think back to it. This one has the old barn. Look at that. That old barn with a hayloft over it, that's been there for 100 years or more. Horses used to be kept there. Now that would be interesting to see. To go back in time 120 years and see horses trotting down this street. That would be interesting to me. Here's another. Oh, nice, comfortable looking house. It looks like it would be pleasant to live in. Again, I might want to paint it differently. It's got a nice old tree. Looks comfortable, quiet. This is something you would buy because it was foreclosed and you thought you were getting a good bargain on it. For Wellesley, a good bargain would probably be $300,000. For somewhere else, western part of the state, $20,000 for a thing like this. And having bought it, you could definitely, I mean, even just a fucking paint. This paint, look at what's the paint? It's not even white. It's not even worth calling off-white. It's just a nothing, no color at all. It's the same color as the clouds up there. There's no attempt at any kind of beautification here. No attempt at shutters. Even just some little shutters, paint the thing, give it some color, and give it some shutters. It could be beautified. You could plant some flowers here, or a couple of flowering shrubs. A lot could be done with this house, and what seems to have been done with it is absolutely nothing. And what I'm going to do is note that it's 25 Crescent Street. Well, look it up on Zillow. See what its assessed value is, when it was last sold, all that bullshit. It's got a nice old tree up here, which is an oak tree. There's a comfortable looking little old house. It's got a little wooden sign at the door that says welcome. Very attractive. Prospect Street. Prospect Streets are usually streets on a hill because you go up and have a prospect. This is a cute little house here. Probably cost $1 million here in Wellesley. But it's cute. It's got big trees. Again, there's big trees all up the street. This could be a cuter color. It could be a very cute little gingerbread house. Right now, it's just one of these fucking I hate these fucking non-color paints. Whose fucking idea is it to have paints that resemble no color, no nameable color, no definable color. I mean, there's a house that's light blue. You can say that house is light blue. It's painted light blue. That's the color it's painted. This one is kind of a... I can't think what to call that. It's sort of a non-color. The one on the left is almost sort of an off-white. There's a yellow house there, a white house next to it, a yellow house up on the hill. But what the fuck color is that? It's no color at all. I get kind of... And people choose. Not only do people choose to paint houses this non-colored color, but the majority of houses, especially the ones that are newly built houses, they're all this non-color color. This is a house that actually is not painted. It's a shingle house with natural wood shingles. Sometimes it has a kind of a staining finish on these houses to keep them. Here's a bunny. Hi, bunny. And a kitty cat way in the back, a black cat. This bunny isn't watching that black cat, but it looks like that black cat is watching the bunny. This is a weird situation. You know, bunny, there's a big black cat behind you stalking one of your family members. It's meow, 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 meow. Bunny's not looking at kitty. Can you see that black kitty moving in the garden? He's stalking something or somebody. And the bunny's sitting right here, paying no mind at all to the cat, but looking at me. I'm not going to eat you, Bunny, but that kitty might. Bunny, bunny, bunny. And Bunny's not scared of me either. That bunny's kind of, not scared of much. And kitty's not doing much either. Okay, bye, Bunny, bye, kitty. Here's a light yellow house. I can say this house is light yellow. Here's a house for sale. This is a sort of grayish house. It's not a very distinct color gray. It's a bluish grayish kind of color. But at least I could say it is gray. It's not one of these non-colors. And here again is the house with the dumpster that they're redoing. It's got a nice garage there. It's across from a funeral house, which isn't the coolest sort of location to be. And then there's all this parking lot and all this machinery, air conditioning, whatever the hell that is, piled up on top of that brick building thing. So, there's your dumpster. It's just dumped and full of dumping dumps. And that house is white. It's not a non-color house. But over there is a fucking non-color house across the street. Now there was our little walk down Crescent Street. And we'll go see what that little, the cheapest, crappiest looking house on that street was number 25. And they probably spent $500,000 buying that. Probably got there was $500,000 to buy the house. But maybe not. Peter's Pizza is competing up here with two other pizza places that are on the same block down there. Two much more fancy, expensive looking pizza places. And the Hawks are still up there. I don't know, is that funny to you, or is it just, okay, so it's more Hawks sitting on a church steeple, but nothing particularly fantastic about that. They're just sitting there. And I don't know. They're pretty. It's unusual to see. In fact, I've never seen that again. I'll probably never see it. I've never seen that before, and I'll probably never see it again, unless those two particular Hawks decide to return there. What the hell is those lights? Is that lights hanging over, or is it just a cigar dispenser? Or is it some kind of special... They're not dildos. What the hell? Somehow, each town does tend to have a different feel.